trying to rectify that problem, so we'll wait to see what happens with that. But we're just going to continue the call as we go on, as we can quickly go through the starting lineups of both sides. And for South Melbourne, Nikola Reganovic in goal. The back four of Brad Norton, Tom Alton, Jake Marshall and Ben Gibber. In midfield, it's Marcus Schroen and Melvin Beckett, with Jerry Salados just in front of him. Giuseppe Marafiotti, Nick Crosseratis and Peter Skapetis up top. As we get close to kick-off, we'll go through the Avondale lineup as soon as we can. And it is Michael Mammis, the referee, in the middle. And now we are underway here at Lakeside Stadium. There's a long ball, he's cut out by Reed. Salados trying to play the ball forward for Crosseratis. It's cleared up in the air. And now Sakia laid out wide, and Lundy for Avondale. Sakia and James Riccobene. His brother Phil is in midfield today with Jonathan Gamana, who's unable to play. As the ball goes out for a throw, we'll quickly go through the south bench, which is Josh Doran, Keenan Gibson, Perry Lambropoulos, Zach Bates and Bill Constantinides. And the Avondale side with Chris Oldfield in goal, back four of James Riccobene, Matthew Reid, Dylan Jacoupy and Brandon Lundy, Yite Towns and Philip Riccobene in midfield, with Tuzuku Sakia just above them, and Stefan Valentini and Stefan Zini on the wings, with Liam Boland up top as James Riccobene. Looks for Sakia. Melvin Beckett wins his first tackle of the day. He really was exceptional last week, Paul.
I called him South Melbourne last week.
And he's definitely made a name for himself, especially with that derby victory over Port Melbourne.
I'm not sure you can get away with that 2 weeks in a row, playing defensive mid, but they're throwing it out there to... More than most teams, I think South Melbourne actually is genuinely a depth team. I mean, they're trying to rotate the squad as much as possible. A lot of teams try to talk the talk, but they tend to walk the walk here.
As the ball goes forward, I did have the chance to speak to Melvin Beckett after the game, and he reckons that in his time in Australia they've been playing him in the wrong position. He believes he is a central midfielder, and just because with the attacking skills that he possesses, sides have tried to play him before the pitches. Crosseratis is chopped down just outside the box. In fact, no foul has been given.
I'm shocked. That's not just as a South person, that's surprising. The South crowd is livid.
The ball continues with Marafiotti. Crosseratis is down in the box. In the end, he's got nowhere really to go. He should really just be kicking the ball out. And in the end, Riccobene does. Crosseratis is going to have to get some attention. And it really looked like a foul. The referee was in the best position. We all the way back past the running track and in the grandstand.
And with my eyesight too, you don't want to judge on that. But it didn't look like a good tackle. But
it's not penalised by the referee.
Hopefully he's not too hurt, because he's been in and out of form at best this season, Nick Crosseratis, and he's back in the senior squad as part of the rotations. 3 games in 8 days because of the cup in midweek, and for South to lose a substitution as well 2 minutes in, if this is what happens, wouldn't be good for them.
There's just a bit of push and shove between the two sides. What the fuck is... So we're just trying to work out some technical difficulties as the push and the shoving between both sides is getting sorted.
It looks like Reganovic has been called over as well by the referees.
A spicy start to this game. Unfortunately, Nick Crosseratis is going...
Yellow card for each of them there. So it's a yellow card to Reganovic. I didn't see who the Avondale player was.
Looks like Liam Boland disappointed with that Boland, who now registers, I think, his 5th yellow card of the season.
6th, actually.
I
checked it before the game just to make sure. Hopefully he was suspended, but that's Reganovic's 4th yellow card of the season, and really unnecessary. It's just, I know you want to fly the flag, but he's already received 3 yellow cards this season, mostly for time wasting. And now he's just one away from suspension.
As we're just getting ready to restart the game. Unfortunately, Nick Krusaratis' day is going to be over. He's hobbling around the outside of the track. As we wait for the game to be restarted. It was Avondale who did kick it out, so Marafiotti will do the sporting thing and throw the ball back.
Looks like Zach Bates will probably come on, if that's the number 20 on the linesman's board.
Yes, it looks like the number 20 of Zach Bates, who did start in that cup game midweek. And now it's a rash challenge, gets flown in straight away, and Reid will go into the book.
No, it's
Marshall.
Marshall or Marafiotti?
It's Marshall with a late challenge. Now all the players are stepping over. There's a shoulder problem for Lundy. He's had those shoulder problems in the past. So,
well, you've got the South fans now yelling, get control of the game, and I think he's already lost control of the game based on that first challenge on Krusaratis, and then the scuffle in the midfield, and now that kind of tackle. Hopefully it doesn't degenerate into something much worse.
And in the end,
it's like the Avondale coaching staff has moved across as well, being ushered back to their positions.
Well, it's a bit of anarchy there in this game so far. Lundy, as you can see, is in quite a bit of pain.
We've had about 7 minutes of play and not much football.
In the end, Avondale restart the game. And now Reid will go back to Oldfield. Chris Oldfield. A chance to look towards Liam Boland. Ball's a little bit wider than that. Up goes Valentini. On the midfield, Beckett. A dangerous ball back to Alton, who just had to clear it. Avondale will get it back. And now it's Liam Boland trying to lay it into the path of a teammate. This time Beckett goes wide. And Salados is in the right position to pick that up. And Schroen over the top. Here's a chance for a run through Skapetis. And it will be a yellow card. This time it is Reid. And the third yellow, we've seen quite four yellow cards have been shown by Michael Mammis in this game so far.
That's 2 to each side, so quite a few players going to have to be very careful the way they finish that game. That was unnecessary again. At least the referee's given the yellow card, because a lot of referees tend to let that first one go, those kind of early challenges, but this game's getting out of control pretty early, so no choice here but to give the yellow card.
Set piece duty for Marcus Schroen. Goes in. Here's Marafiotti, but he goes over the top. Free header from him. A great opportunity to open the scoring.
I think he's been called offside anyway.
Well, when you miss an opportunity like that, that's the only time an attacker really wants to see the offside flag go up.
That'll get cut out of the highlights package later on.
Exactly right. So, and I've just got a few questions just on the streaming. Their streams on YouTube have been mixed up. They're trying to sort that out, but at the moment I think it is the national NTC Victoria women's game is the South Melbourne Avondale game. They've just a bit of confusion there in the switch room, so we do apologise for that. So you can watch this on YouTube on your big screen as Marshall's down and the referee's going to have to stop the game again.
And Esteban Quintos, the South Melbourne coach, has gone right off. He is livid. It happened very close to right in front of the South bench. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the coaching staff as well get maybe some yellow cards here as well. They're both on a very short fuse early on.
Well, at the end, Michael Mammis, the man in the middle, has just really got to try to settle these players down, because we've seen some really poor challenges so far in this game. This time Marshall makes his way to the sideline. We'll see with look like a head knock, so the referee has to stop the game. It will be a drop ball between Zini once again. Well, we've seen a bit of sportsmanship with giving the ball back, but other than that, not much else, Paul.
That's pretty much it. I mean, they've done the most basic thing, right? But just hope the rest of the game doesn't degenerate further, because this has not been good.
Tensions are high here at Lakeside as Reganovic. And he's passed the ball to his bench.
His kicking has been poor this season. I'm not sure there's an easy fix.
We did see the last league game, Josh Doran get the opportunity to put on the South Melbourne goalkeeper shirt. Only conceded the one goal, made a couple of saves, a few nervy moments with coming out to collect and also with clearing the ball.
Wasn't really tested by the Port attack though last week, especially in the second half.
And this time Crossoratis goes back in on Reed.
Good to see him out there after that early challenge, but he's going to get himself into trouble and might as well not be out there.
I've just got at the moment a bit of an old school game where personal scores are being kept, and Reed got Crossoratis got him back. Oldfield slips, but the pass is perfect into the path of Valentini. In the end, South Melbourne have to concede the corner.
That's good, well played by Oldfield. Saw the opportunity early on there and just went for it. Good pass.
So now, we wait for Riccobene to come across. It's James Riccobene, the left back. The two Riccobene boys in the starting lineup for Avondale today.
Two more ex-South boys. I'm going to count them off week by week.
And now the fourth official has let the referee in the middle know that something's going on the bench. So Michael Mammis is now giving an official warning to the South bench. It's too hard to say in particular.
That's the Avondale bench over there.
Oh, it's the Avondale bench, so it's too hard in particular to say who he's spoken to. And in fact, it will be a yellow card. I think it might be Andy Vargas.
And that's one for Esteban Quintus, I think, or...
And now the boys will go shake hands. No, they won't. Yes, they will. And we're back here for the corner. A bit of a sideshow in this game. We're back to duties in the match. And Phil Riccobene kept it back across the box, but Reganovic was only one there to collect, and now he goes forward. Skapetis did well to kill that out of the air, and now he's looking for a teammate. Salados is there for the offering. Long switching ball that Zini comes back.
No numbers there for South. They all just hung back. I'm not sure why. Maybe under instruction, but Skapetis did well there to take on two players, and then he had no real option.
Unfortunately, South Melbourne get the throw. Jibba hooked away by Avondale, and ball falls to Zini and gives up possession. Salados. There's a few challenges fly in now with young Jibba, and once again there's a shoulder problem here for Lundy. I think eventually he's going to have to be substituted. He has had dislocated shoulders in the past, so it's a bit like Stephen Pace at Heidelberg. They pop in and pop out a little bit too regularly.
Or Chris Talajic from a few years ago. You know, very promising young striker from Melbourne Knights at the time, and they just kept popping out the slightest touch.
So we almost had a substitution. Luckily, Crossoratis was able to continue, as he really did hobble. He had to be helped by two South Melbourne trainers around the pitch, so we thought a substitution would happen, but in the end he was able to come on, and
good to see him come back on and
put a meaty challenge back in on Reed. So and now Lundy that'll be the end of the day for him. As you wait to see who the change will be, it might be as the game continues. Looks like Yusuf Ahmed will be the one to come on, more of an attacking player.
Very talented player. Not a bad option to have on the bench. I think quite a few teams would like to start a player like that.
So Also opens up the possibility of Phil Riccobene maybe dropping to centre back, and
not sure it's exactly the spot that suits Phil, but you know, I suppose when you have to adjust, you've got to do the best you can.
Now it's in the middle. Towns, Beckett, strong challenge. Riccobene away. Will it stay in play for Zini? It won't, because Gibber heads the ball out. And now the substitution can be made. So Lundy off, and it will be Yusuf Ahmed on.
Always a shame to see a player go off 15 minutes into a game. Surprised there hasn't been more carnage, though, to be honest.
So we'll wait to see how Avondale reshuffle their lineup as Riccobene into the box. It's cleared away by Norton and out for another throw.
It's a bit more no-nonsense kind of clearance there than what South had on Wednesday night. They were taken after the Knights' clearances.
Now Riccobene, Sakia. Good challenge in, gets it out for another throw. At least for 5 minutes we've had some football here, Paul.
Which is encouraging. I think the coaches shaking hands help things. Well, they would like to think so anyway.
This ball goes in, Boland. It's taken away from him, and now Marshall can look forward. Salados over the top, Crossoratus, Oldfield off his line and gets it clear. And Valentini can't keep the ball in play, and out for a South Melbourne throw on the far side.
Oldfield right away onto that, and no trouble. Well, here we go.
Well, luckily, Oldfield was able to come out and collect. There's Crossoratus again making a nuisance of himself.
Looks up for it today, Crossoratus, which is good.
I felt he found quite a bit of form in that Port Melbourne game last week. He
got a lot of the ball. Nothing quite worked for him except for the assist he gave for the goal, but it's good to see him up and about, trying, having a go at least. He was a bit down in conference for about a couple of months there.
They are going up against the best defence in the league and also the best attack, so Avondale well deserving of their top position at the moment, and now they drive it forward. It's Jakupi into the box, and it's cleared away.
They've only given away 15 goals this season. That's less than a goal a game, which is brilliant stuff.
And in the end, another foul as the fouls start racking up in this game.
Meanwhile, for South Melbourne, on the other hand, they've only scored the 18 goals this season, and that's largely due to, I think, about a 4 or 5 game stretch where they couldn't score a goal. They've improved that in recent weeks, but you'd bet on the team that's only lost a game all season to take this one out.
Their form has waned a little bit in recent times. Got back to winning ways against Kingston last week, but even with the loss of Scott Hillier, who saw a red card for dissent. So with the ball over the top, Crossoratus and Reid, another battle between them two, and the ball goes out for a south throw further up the pitch. As both teams' wingers are increasingly getting involved in this game. Now it's Schrone. Ball's deflected into midfield. Beckett. In the end, he had no option to spread it to the other side of the pitch, so he goes back to Marshall. And Tom Alton, who really impressed me last week in his first game in a South Melbourne shirt.
Yeah, he did quite well. I mean, there was that one moment where Sam Ford turned the entire South Melbourne defence inside out, but apart from that, Alton was part of a very solid back four last week.
Now it's goes back to the keeper, Oldfield. Riccobene. What can he create for Avondale? Beckett cuts that one out. Keep racking it up. That's number 4 for Melvin Beckett. The ball goes out for a south throw. Right in front of the South Melbourne bench. It's Gibber. Ball goes out for a throw. Avondale would have seen that Heidelberg lost last night to Hume City, who, in my belief now, they are in this title race. The ball goes out for a South Melbourne throw. Late winner for Hume City last night.
Well, they were 1-0 down until about 76 minutes in, and another 93rd minute goal. They know how to score late. And they know how to score late against Heidelberg teams as well.
As we saw Even the last couple of home games, Heidelberg have dropped points at home. Now, they've only got one home game for the rest of the season, and that's in 2 weeks' time against Oakley. So if they're going to be challenging for the title, they're going to have to do it away. But at the moment, it's Cruceratus. In the end, Jacoupy will have to go back to the keeper, Oldfield, who once again slips as he plays it long. Alton over the top of Oldfield with a strong header away, but now it falls into midfield. Chizuku Sakia, cut out by Jibber. Now Beckett. Gagne can go over the top, but Rickabene's there to cushion the header to Towns. Now, Rickabene and Salados. Jibber once again will cut it out. Salados is covering a lot of territory in this game so far.
He is, and I wonder if that's going to take a toll on him, because he did play a full game on Wednesday and probably most of the game on Sunday as well.
Jibber throws it long. Once again, another throw, this time Avondale's way. Jibber away. Marafiotti, Skipetis, Salados over the top. Yusuf Ahmed does well to win that back. Now back to Oldfield. Sort of sees with the midfield three, they've got Towns at the bottom of the midfield triangle with just two attacking midfielders now, with Yusuf Ahmed and Chizuku Sakia, who's on the ball now. Which is a little bit different to how Avondale normally do. They normally have the two sitting midfielders with Chizuku Sakia in front.
Perhaps they think they should be able to pressure Beckett and Schroen. We'll see how that plays out.
Boland's flick looking to get it through is cut out. Schroen over the top. Oldfield will get there first. Has he got time to let it go out for a throw? He does, and then the end is, for some bizarre reason, has just cleared the ball well away. The referee's going to have to come across and give a yellow card, which is a very strange decision from Oldfield, because Avondale had the throw anyway.
As bizarre as that is, I actually saw that yesterday at Western Suburbs versus Altona East. The Altona East player kicked the ball out when it had gone out of play and copped the yellow card for that.
So
I didn't think you'd see that twice in 2 days. So
a bit of fear of missing out from Chris Oldfield. He's seen the yellow cards go around, 4 of them so far before that one, and wanted to join in.
They're mistaking them from elephant stickers or something.
And in the end, it's another foul. Schroen is brought to the ground. Set piece opportunity. We saw the delivery of Marcus Schroen, particularly in that cup game midweek, was quite on the money, but
oh, it's a ball-to-ball proposition. I mean, it's a difficult skill, so let's not be too harsh. But I wouldn't mind, seeing him share the load a little bit with Jerry Salados.
As the ball gets whipped in, Alton was trying to go there. Cruceratus again.
That's gone out.
Trying to keep it in play, but you're right, it's gone out for a goal kick. So we are live and interactive on Facebook as well too, so always put through your comments and let us know where you're watching from. What are your thoughts on the game so far? What are your thoughts on NPL Victoria and what could happen in the league this season? It's been quite an entertaining season so far. Really don't know who's going to win match to match.
No, and that finals race is really heating up. There's a lot of teams bunching up now.
You see with Altona coming from behind and getting the win last night. South Melbourne, well, they've got to try to beat the top side to sort of keep a little bit closer in that run. You
don't want to undersell yourselves, but I think South would be happy with a draw out of this, because they've got Pascoe Vale and Kingston, two very winnable games, or 2 games they think they should be winning. If they can get a point here, it's 1 more point than most teams have gotten out of Avondale so far this season.
So we had to have the throw, so Disse, it is getting a little bit tight in that area with Altona. Well, we've got Melbourne Knights and Green Gully on 26 points. And they're just inside the top 6 with Altona 25, South Melbourne 23.
And that goal difference for South Melbourne's hurting them at the moment, but you keep picking up the wins and you sort that out towards the end of the season.
Oakley on 22 is a good bet as well for pushing for finals. They always have a late run in NPL Victoria.
And especially after their slow start this season, which, well, who knows how many games Chris Taylor was getting from getting sacked, but they've, I thought they would turn it around, and they have. They've got too many quality players to be down the bottom too long.
Ahmed goes back.
Looks like South Melbourne are content to give Avondale the ball in those areas, hit them on the counter, which has been South Melbourne's sort of modus operandi this season. but you don't want to give a team like Avondale too much of the ball.
Beckett misses out this time. Bolins can go from range. There's Liam Bolins. Oh, wasn't too far away. The South defence backed off. Gave Boland the chance to turn around and try to get his radar right. It wasn't too far away, but Reganovic watched it go past the post.
And we've got another player down. Who is that?
Looks like Valentini is the one down. We've already seen Lundy be substituted for Yusuf Ahmed.
And that was quite a way off the play too, because Boland was a good 10 metres away from that end, so I'm not sure what happened. Looks, well, he's moving gingerly. He might be able to come back on later on. We'll have to wait and see.
So wait for Reganovic to restart. In the end, Valentini has to make his way to the sidelines.
We had a pretty rough start to this game. The first 10 minutes was just tackle after tackle and very spiteful, not much football. In the last 15 minutes, it's actually opened up a little bit.
25 minutes gone here at Lakeside. Still 0-0 as Reid heads it away, and Salados will pick up the ball and go and get it back off Skipetis. Reverse pass for Marifiotti. He's offside. The shot goes wide anyway, but the second time Marifiotti comes close, the flag goes up. Well
offside there. Should have held the line, but still, you'd like to finish him. If there's been, I mean, he's South's leading scorer this season, but if there's been one mark on his play this year, I think it's the fact that he hasn't taken some of those chances.
I do apologise for the audio quality in this game. At half-time, we'll try to rectify things. Over the top. Marshall. Ball forward. Valentini. Out for an Avondale throw. Ricabene to throw it back in. He is capable of the long throw, but goes back to Towns in midfield. Trying to clip the ball through. It's going to find its way forward, and Norton was able to cut that out before Jakupi could get there, and in the end, Jakupi held on a little bit too much, and South Melbourne, right near the defensive corner flag, will get out of trouble.
We've seen about, I'll say 2, 3, maybe 4 players slip over. It does tend to happen at Lakeside. Players do struggle to get their footing at times in certain parts of the pitch, but it's also rained a little bit during the women's game beforehand, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Ball goes long from Reganovic. Schoen heads it on. Cleared away by Ricabene. One to be chased in the box here. Valentini with the chest, and in the end couldn't keep the ball in. So we've seen some real late finishes in NPL Victoria this weekend, Paul.
We certainly have. We had Oakley winning 3-2 in injury time after Kingston got it back from 2-0 down.
So we also saw Green Gully Alex Salmon, who's been deadly so far this season, sky a penalty in the 97th minute, which gave still Green Gully a share of the spoils. 2-2 draw against Dandenong City.
I think both teams have viewed that now, and the current form is 2 points dropped.
After the Derby win midweek for the Melbourne Knights, they saw Joey Franic sent off, and then after that, 4 Bentley Greens goals. Saw them record a 4-0 victory. Port Melbourne 4-0 against a very disappointing Pascoe Vale. Altona, we said 2-0 down, come back to win 3-2, and Hume City with the late minute goal to win 2-1. And now it's Marifiotti on the left foot. Salados. He's got Cruceratus out wide, try to cut back inside. He's still got the ball as Salados finds its way to Cruceratus. Trying to clip it in for Schroen just above his head. And in the end, it'll go out for a goal kick. But nice build-up from South Melbourne.
That was unbelievable by Jerry Salatos. He just took about 2 or 3 players on, and I thought he'd lost it and he got it back. That's why he's in the team for. He's just that kind of magic player you want to come see.
It's now Oldfield. Ahmed up in the air. One for Boland to fight for, and comes off Beckett, and now it's Skipetis with the turn. Can he feed it back to Marafiotti? He can.
He was just delayed enough with that pass.
In the end, out for a throw as Ahmed picks himself up. He thought he was going to be the next injury casualty as he went down after winning that header. Unfortunately, he's able to stand back up and continue with the game.
These are throw-ins on this side of the field not working for South Melbourne. They're just either getting turned over or just getting kicked out again. I know you want to play risk-averse kind of a game, but...
Ball in midfield. Just got a question. Can we confirm how many cards so far? It's a bit harder for us to keep on top of it, but...
I've lost track.
I think there's either 5 or 6 in this game so far. We'll check that at half-time, and we'll be able to get back to you after half-time.
I think Rukanovic has one. I think it might have been Marafiotti or Marshall has one. And I think there's 3 to Avondale at least.
Yeah.
Oldfield, and there was a shirt target and one in the scuffle.
Dangerous ball in by Schrone, but in the end it evades everybody and out.
Ooh. Oldfield's just kicked that sign for some reason. He's
obviously got something against National Storage.
Or maybe he's involved and he's want to get some more attention. He's got a sort of like a retainer.
Sakia back to Oldfield. Now Matthew Reid, who it's an excellent season so far, coming back to the top division after spending a bit of time with Moreland City. Was it Green Gully before that, and now Marafiotti. He's got it out wide. Once again, he's flanked by a couple of Avondale players, and the challenge comes in from James Ricabene. And South Melbourne get the free kick.
Yeah, definitely a free kick. Maybe on another day would have got a yellow card for that as well, but perhaps the referee just saving him up for the more serious moments that are going to come again in this game, you think?
Now Marcus Schrone, another set-piece opportunity. Real flat delivery last time that unfortunately was just a little bit too much in front of his attackers to get onto. Back again on set-piece duties as plenty of players bunch up around the penalty spot. Who can get away from their marker here? I see Boland patrolling the front of it if Schrone can't get it over the top of him. And it's again another flat delivery, and well positioned was Boland and heads it out.
Well done by Boland there. He's got it up for a throw-in instead of another set-piece corner.
You can sort of see what they were trying to do as Marshall and that were just trying to get in front of their markers and creep on the goal side of Liam Boland, but he was able to take a step to the side and head it away, and South will now have this throw. Half an hour played. Yeah,
as erratic as Christian Constantinides has been in defence at times this season, one thing that South will miss today is his runs into the box from those kind of situations, because he's almost untrackable. They can't seem to follow him.
In the end, the deflection sees it out for a corner where we saw the quality of Constantinides as he jumped over the top of Nikola Jurkovic midweek to score a goal for South Melbourne. Also, Billy Constantinides is on the bench. He was the other goal scorer in that game.
He hurt his shoulder late in that game after that goal, so we're not sure if we're going to see him unless absolutely necessary.
Another opportunity for Peter Skipetis, who did get that goal in the Port Melbourne, the decisive goal against Port last week here at Lakeside.
I think he actually has a good understanding with Jerry Salatos too, from what little we've seen of him so far. They seem to be on the same page.
So again, South Melbourne bunch all their players right into the teeth of goal next to Oldfield. It comes in. It's headed away by Avondale. Sakia trying to get it real clear. Beckett, reverse pass back in. Now it's cleared. Avondale could have a break here as Zini lays it off to Yusuf Ahmed. Now Sakia motors down the right-hand side. As Avondale now get numbers into the box, and that's where it goes towards Boland. Keeps it back alive. Valentini is there. Beckett acrobatically gets it clear. Ahmed trying to keep the attack going for Avondale. In the end, Beckett comes across and forces him back.
It's almost like he's like the volleyball libero. He's just allowed to go anywhere, do anything.
And definitely become quite quickly a crowd favourite here. South Melbourne will always back in the players that they see work extremely hard for the shirt.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's most teams will want to do that, but he's doing well so far.
Sakia. Now Jakupi. Valentini's got time to look forward in midfield. Schrone read that pass well. Beckett back to Schrone. Can South go with a counter-attack themselves? Cruceratus as Jakupi tries to get back in position.
And they might have to recycle this because they've been hemmed in beautifully by Avondale.
In the end, Jakupi gives away a needless foul. It is good seeing Dylan Jakupi back playing football. He spent the most. South Melbourne take this quickly. Cruceratus to the box to Kia. Leaves it short. Schrone with the turn. And in the end, Reid makes the challenge in the box and gets the ball clear. And another sloppy pass to Beckett. South, Schrone, Reid with the sliding challenge. And a foul has been given. And Schrone is the next one down with holding his leg. And it's good seeing Jakupi back after having such knee problems the last 2 years. We've seen Schrone obviously have knee injuries as well. It's good to see players come back and show what the quality that they bring.
Absolutely. I think interesting story about Schrone is that when he had his knee injury, South Melbourne's one of the football directors said that was the best knee recovery I've ever seen. He just did everything absolutely spot on. And listen to the kids out there. Follow your doctor's advice. Do your exercises. You get back out there quicker than you might think.
It's thrown. Another chance for South Melbourne from this set piece. It's headed away.
That was too shallow.
Beckett from range. Well wide. So it is 2 yellow cards to South, 3 to Avondale. So we were right, it was 5. Thank you to Liza for messaging through. Ball in the midfield. Marshall. Towns. We've also seen yellow cards to the benches as well. As Oldfield goes long, Boland heads it on. Valentini will chase after it, but nobody's going to be able to keep that one in.
It's been action-packed, except everywhere, except really the chances. There hasn't been too many clear-cut chances on goal. I can't really remember any, except for Marafiotti's 2 misses that were both offside.
This ball's headed back. Ahmed. Beckett gets it back for South. And now Skipetis with a switching ball for Cruceratus, which picks him out. Chance to run at the Avondale defence. There's Nick Cruceratus. Salados looking for the 1-2. Missed the mark, and now Avondale through Jakupi. First time ball over the top. It's going to work out, is it? Ruganovic didn't get there first. It's got to be a penalty. Stefan Zini got there first. Ruganovic is already on a yellow card. But
referee's got a tough decision to make here. Is he going to give Ruganovic his second yellow?
Well, it's hard to say that it was a clear goal-scoring opportunity because
the only thing that probably saves Ruganovic there is the angle.
So Michael Mamas is going to have to talk to Ruganovic, is he? Don't believe a card will come his way. So Avondale will have the chance from the penalty spot. Liam Boland has been in sensational form.
He's already got 15 goals this season.
For number 16 on the spot as we wait for Stefan Zini to get medical attention, which
it's not what South want to see either, because Stefan Zini so fast on that wing. He's burned South Melbourne so many times since he's left. He scored in the last 3 games against South Melbourne.
So wait to see. And it also plays into the mind of Liam Boland, the penalty taker, who's got more time to think about this.
Oh, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. He's on fire. Scored plenty of penalties this year as well. Actually took umbrage to some South supporters online for being accused of only scoring from penalties. He reminded everybody of last year's goal from halfway.
He's a star, Liam Boland. He's enjoying his best season in NPL Victoria since coming over from Western Australia. His time at Green Gully, Hume and Oakley. He's made himself the #1 striker here at Avondale, wearing that number 9 shirt. As Norton tries to make a nuisance of himself. And Avondale have this opportunity to take the lead from the penalty spot. Boland's had a lot of time to think about this. Can he beat Nikola Reganovic? It's Rock Reganovic versus Liam Boland. Can Avondale get the first goal in this game as Boland steps up and sends the keeper the wrong way? Liam Boland on the score sheet again. It's his 16th goal of the year. And Liam Boland gives Avondale the lead.
And that started, I think, if we think back to it, South Melbourne turned the ball over in a pretty promising attacking position, very cheaply. Avondale played it forward very quickly to Stefan Zini. He's beaten his man for pace. He's beaten Nikola Reganovic to the ball, who was a bit slow to sort of realise what was going on there. And Boland's put away the penalty.
Well, there's going to be more talk here. This time it is the South Melbourne bench. Looks like Billy Constantinides is going to be shown a yellow card, is it? It's a little bit hard to see from here, especially when the players are wearing the green vest, but the South Melbourne player on the bench has been carded.
That was the first real clear-cut chance of the game, and it's been taken.
So Avondale with the lead as we approach half-time in this game here at Lakeside Stadium. Ball over the top. Schrone heads the ball on. Crossaratus and Jacoupy. Jacoupy wins the ball this time and goes over the top for Boland to chest it. Alton recovered well. Boland slides in and it finds its way to Beckett and Schrone. Over the top into the channel. Reed will cut it out. Send it out for another throw. In the end, the ball finds Norton to Beckett. Good turn in midfield. Drives it forward for South Melbourne. Ricabene cuts it out and Sakia's back to play the ball forward. Valentini. And now the ball finds its way to Ricabene. He's got Zini on the outside, tries to fire it in towards Boland. Sakia, edge of the box. Recovery challenge come through with Schrone and now Beckett. There's not many blue shirts in front of him, so has to slow the attack down with Schrone. Almost got swamped out, but Ben Gibber will be able to pick the ball up. Salados, first time ball again, looking for Marafiotti. It's cut out. Now Oldfield. Zini. And the ball will go out for a South Melbourne throw.
Good work by Gibber not to give away the foul there.
Throws it back in. Skipetis. In to Beckett. You see Avondale trying to close the game down so close to half-time.
Oh, and so little movement from the south forwards. You've got Skipetis dropping very deep, but none of the players that have replaced him up the front there have moved there for him.
Now Beckett, Salados, Schrone, and now Marafiotti. Looking to find the right pass. He's got Schrone. Gibber on the outside. Can he try to find room to get across? And he can't, but he tried to get it towards Salados, and in the end Towns wins out. He's held on to.
And he'll probably get a yellow card for that, I think. Maybe a little lucky to get away with that. Beaten for size, beaten for strength, and he just tugged a professional foul.
And now we wait for Oldfield to take this. Well, South Melbourne to get back in this game in the second half. You said the only real opportunities they've really created with it was a couple of offside Marafiotti chances.
But to be fair, even Avondale haven't created too many chances themselves. It was just a penalty.
Well, Zini trying to get there first. Good challenge from Gibber and Zini. I think both of them got a part of the ball. You are right. There has been a game with not really much goal-mouth chances, but
all the excitement's been on everything else. Fouls and scuffles and back chat.
There's another foul to Avondale.
It'll be interesting to see in the second half what South's approach is, because they've been happy so far to sit on the counter, but now they've got to come out, I think, and try and get this goal back.
As Reed almost got into a tangle. Goes back to goalkeeper Chris Oldfield. Now Phil Riccobene. Boland just lays it off as 6 minutes of stoppage time. We thought there would be a bit with the injuries and the yellow cards and the scuffles in this game.
6 minutes seems about right.
Boland's. Zini with a back heel. It's James Riccobene trying to play it through to Zini, and in the end Zini thought the ball was going to go on the outside, and Riccobene played it through the middle, and Reganovic will collect. Sort of seems that both sides are happy to get to half-time at the moment. There's no real urgency from either side, as now Reganovic. Crossoratis heads it on, but Reed in the right position. Going back to Oldfield. Phil Riccobene. James Riccobene up the line, and will go out with a South Melbourne throw.
I think both teams might actually be content to go into this without a further goal being added. Certainly Avondale will be happy, and I think South will be just making sure they don't concede another one.
And chance for Skipetis, trying to play it forward. That seemed like a handball. The linesman was in good position for that. He kept the flag down. The referee waved it on.
South crowd not happy, but they rarely are.
It's Ahmed. Goes back, and once again, Avondale happy just to possess the ball.
Look like ball's a hand to me.
It's Towns. Valentini. Beckett wins it back. Can he drive the ball forward? He's got Skipetis on the outside. Peter Skipetis, can he get South level? Reed with the block. Skipetis trying to cross it back in. Still in the box, and Avondale eventually get it clear, but Reed, what a covering block that was.
Great covering block, but Skipetis had the chance to take that shot a little bit earlier before Reed actually made the move down onto the ground.
It's now South go back. And the ball goes out for a throw. There's a bit of delaying tactics there by Avondale. Now the throw goes towards Schrone. Reed heads it out, and South will have another throw. And it will go out for an Avondale throw here, as we've now played 3 minutes of the 6 that will be added on. Another throw to Avondale. Well, we've seen Melvin Beckett, probably South's best real chances have been the counter-attacks where he's won the ball back in midfield and been able to drive South Melbourne forward. They just haven't been able to really test Chris Oldfield from then on.
No, the link play up to the next stage hasn't worked. So Beckett's done well. He's provided the passes. He's won the ball. But the front 3-4 players, Schrone, Skipetis, Marafiotti, Salados, just haven't made it work yet.
So Oldfield goes back to Riccobene. Up the line looking to try to find his brother. And Crossoratis, who did swap wings with Marafiotti about 10 minutes ago. Ball forward, Schrone heads it forward. Skipettis. It's again Avondale force him back, trying to turn back into trouble. Skipettis with strength. In fact, he's been penalised. Avondale have the free kick. How'd you see that one, Paul?
I thought that was going to go the other way, and I thought, if anything, people would have been getting upset at the lack of advantage call, but he's giving it to Avondale. Just got to reset, settle down, defend.
As we're into the final 90 seconds of the first half. Sakia short. Phil Riccobene, as you said, it really has been stoppage time. Both sides are quite happy to get to the break.
Really,
Avondale possessing.
Great chance there for Avondale. Put some numbers forward, try and send the ball long, but haven't done it.
In the end, Reid steps into midfield. Sakia
There's an unmarked man in
goes himself.
Was that bowling in the middle unmarked? Somebody was running through.
Yeah, there was a smart save from Roganovic because that ball was moving. Tezuku Sakia, his technique of that little backlift, and he gets so much power into his shots.
It was a good shot. I think I would have gone for the cross if I'd seen that.
And test Roganovic.
South have got to watch those runners.
We are into this final minute of stoppage time. One more chance for Avondale to go. 2 goals to the good if they can make the most of this. South will be looking to just get to half-time at 1-0. Reset. As Riccobene's cross comes in, looking for Boland and Reid. And it's Matthew Reid who gets the goal. Avondale take the lead pretty much with the last kick of the first half. It is 2 goals now to Avondale. And Matthew Reid, the big centre-back, is up forward and scores another set-piece goal.
I think that's his 3rd or 4th goal this season. That's just atrocious marking from South Melbourne. That header came out from a long, long way. And Roganovic, so slow to get across there, just almost like he didn't see it, didn't move his feet.
And also you think with that being pretty much the last kick of the half, you thought that South would at least have players on the posts. Everybody back in defending, but in the end it's Reid who powers his header into the corner. Avondale get their 2nd goal with goals from Liam Boland and Matthew Reid. The South kick off and half-time will now go as more pushing and shoving goes. And we've seen plenty of this here in the first half. We'll see a few substitutes get involved from both sides as well. Tempers just have to be cooled here at half-time, go into the sheds. But it's been that type of game, Paul, so far.
It's been a game that's been mostly scuffles, injuries, bad tackles, yellow cards flying everywhere. And in the last 10 minutes or so of that half, Avondale getting on top. Neither side have created too many chances, but when Avondale have made theirs, they've taken them. The penalty, which Boland took beautifully, as he normally does. And then that, again, appalling defending from the corner. No one on the back post, no one matching Reid in the air.
And tempers are flared. The South fans now make their way up the tunnel to the cheers of the South fans as Avondale just wait a second before they exit the pitch. It is half-time here at Lakeside Stadium. It is South Melbourne 0. It is Avondale 2. As you said, Liam Boland with the penalty and Matthew Reid with a towering header. Basically the last play of the first half. So we're just going to have a short break for about 10 minutes and we'll be back for all the action here at Lakeside shortly. Hello everyone and welcome back here for the second half at Lakeside Stadium. It is South Melbourne 0. It is Avondale 2 with goals from Liam Bolam and Matthew Reid, and South Melbourne have just made a substitution. Nick Cruceratus is off at half-time and Zach Bates has made his way onto the pitch. We did see Cruceratus with a leg injury fairly early in this game, was able to continue and had a fairly solid first half, but obviously it's not good enough to continue.
I think they want to use Zach Bates' speed as well, because Chris Ryder's got in some nice positions, but he was shut down, sent wide by the Avondale defence. So going to see probably a lot of through balls, long balls to Zach Bates, you would think.
The acceleration of Dylan Jacoupy is very underrated in this league too. As the ball goes forward, there's a little bit of holding on. The foul has been given to South Melbourne, which is going to offer them the opportunity for another set-piece delivery.
Well, this is the start they need. They need to get into these positions. They need to get pressing. No point in sulking and hoping things go better. You just got to get out there and man up, do it all again.
As we wait for Schrone.
I mean, South's recent record against Avondale is very poor. They've lost 6 league games in a row against Avondale. Each game seems to get worse in terms of margin. At least get a bit of dignity back.
To wait for Schrone's delivery. Yusuf Ahmed away. Salados goes himself. It's taken a deflection on its way through. And South, after having that free kick, will now have a corner. So, disappointment for South Melbourne fans right on half-time as Matthew Reid, basically with the last play of the first half, was able to double the lead for Avondale. Just after half-time, can South Melbourne hit back with a corner of their own? Once again near post, and it was sliced away. Will be another corner.
See, at that corner, Avondale had about 4-5 players on the goal line, whereas South, for the last corner they conceded from the first half, had Ruganovic, and that was it. And there were players on the halfway line not participating. I think 51st minute. Get your bodies in there.
As we're waiting to see the referee just tell the players no more pushing and shoving in the box. It's been flat delivery from Schoen so far today. This one's a little bit better, headed away by Boland. Avondale, there's a heavy touch there and goes out for a throw.
A small win for South because they had no one on the edge of the box where the ball's likely to go out from those corners.
Ball out wide as Benjamin says thanks for the shout out for the boys in Ko Samui. There's a ball thrown in by Norton. Flicked on. Can South make the most of this? Bates will find Salados with the volley. And it's always going to be rising over the top.
Worth a shot. Nothing else has worked so far.
It's just that little bit too high for him to get under it with the power that he was hoping for. Ball's headed away and Zini thought about taking it quickly or leave it for Jacoupy. Now Boland flicks it on into the path of Valentini. Gets there first. Here's Yusuf Ahmed. And once again, how's that for a covering challenge coming in from Bates?
Bit of hesitation there by Ben Gibber to take on Boland, and that's just given Boland way too much space and time to do what he likes. I know he's about twice the size of you, Ben, but you've got to go for it.
So throw comes in. Sakia trying to lift it over the top, and another throw Avondale's way. Now Ahmed. Beckett was able to get a foot in, but now South get it back through Salados. Up the line. Ricky Bene just has to put it out for a throw, but South Melbourne will be happy with that.
I think Avondale will be happy with that. They're just going to play safety first for most of the rest of this game, I think, and if there's a chance to extend the lead, they'll take it, but with their miserly defence, I think can't really see South getting back into this. I know it's early days, though.
Wait to see what South can do, but at the moment it's Avondale in the attack. Jacoupy trying to get away from Beckett. been able to do that and has to play the ball back. Ute Towns, numbers in the box. Boland can attack this one over the back, and it's in. Yusuf Ahmed has been able to get the final touch onto that, and Avondale celebrate for a third time, and Yusuf Ahmed is on the score sheet for the Avengers.
I think that's it. I think it's all about saving face now for South Island. That's a great ball in to Yusuf Ahmed. Rukanovic, just flat foot, just didn't seem to read that at all in the air. Neither didn't move his feet. What more can you say? This is why they're top of the table. Even when they're not playing particularly well, they still manage to find a way to get the goals.
Well, you see that the cross come in. The direction was towards Boland. It was him and Marshall. The ball ended up getting over the back of them, and following through was Yusuf Ahmed. And he was able to direct it into the corner.
And the thing is, with Avondale too, I mean, we obviously love harping on about Boland and his 15, 16 goals now, but they've had a variety of goal scorers this season, and Yusuf Ahmed's just another one.
As we see normally when Yusuf Ahmed scores, we see plenty of the goat emojis pop up on the Facebook stream. He's got plenty of fans out there, and I'm definitely one of it. I'm a Yusuf Ahmed fan. I reckon he's an outstanding young player.
Even there, no pressure by South on the player receiving the ball from the goal kick.
Now Towns. Sakia through. Zini will chase after it, but Reganovic this time wins that battle and gets there first.
Too.
Well, Reganovic hasn't been the best week for Reganovic, with also that miscommunication with Marshall that led to Hamish Watson's third goal in the cup midweek.
Bit of a push in that one as well, though.
Just needed one of them to clear it before that.
Well, that's what the Melbourne Knights were doing all game. They were just like, any doubt, kick it out. The old rugby union maxim.
So Avondale have got the third. And the challenge has been laid down to Avondale a few times, with Bentley looking to keep in touch with them, and we've seen Hume City with a victory over Heidelberg. Heidelberg dropping points a little bit too regular for their liking over the last month.
Well, the kind of start Avondale had to the season, just this long unbeaten run. They can afford to drop a couple of games here or there, not particularly flash. It's up to everyone else to hatch up afterwards.
Now the goal scorer of the second goal, Reed. Valentini. Now Boland. Valentini continues the run in the field. Opens up again for Avondale. Valentini tried to play it in to Sakia. Yusuf Ahmed. Another chance to run. Salados on the blind side gets it back. In fact, it was Bates to Salados. And in the end, the ball goes out for an Avondale throw.
Trying to see if South Melbourne's actually maybe changed up their formation. I'm not sure if they've moved to three at the back. I'm not sure there's any point now, because I don't think they're going to get back from this hole they've dug themselves.
And back to four at the back just for the moment. We'll wait to see how things do change. Ahmed, Towns, Sakia back to Yusuf Ahmed, and Boland. Great one-touch football here. Sakia coming across was Beckett to get the ball back. Holton will leave it for Schrone, and now they can play it through, looking for Marifiotti. Oldfield's off his line, and in absolutely no doubt, Chris Oldfield gets it clear.
Did his job.
He sweep a keeper a couple of times today. Now Marifiotti hasn't been able to keep the ball in, and will go out for a goal kick for Avondale.
Key for South Melbourne now is don't let it get worse. The goal difference is already quite poor. If they do make a finals run at some point, they don't want that to be a disadvantage any more than it already is.
The last loss was a 3-0 loss against Dandenong City in the league, and we also had a heavy loss early in the year to Avondale, which I think it might have been 4-1.
4-0.
So, as you said, that's taken a hit on the goal difference.
Whereas Avondale don't need to worry about that. They're doing very well on both fronts, scoring a lot of goals and conceding very few.
And just to double check too, on the graphics it says 2-0, but it is definitely 3-0 here. As Marafiotti cuts it back across the box and Reid gets a block. So the score is most definitely 3-0. If any of the graphics people are listening through.
We're getting a shake of the head here.
So now we wait for the ball to be thrown in. It will be Jakupi. Bolins. Schrone. Turns out of trouble. Beckett. Salados. Bates makes the run. Clipped over the top. And in the end, Bates has just shoved Ricabene into the hoardings. And this is going to kick off again. It was really not needed there by the youngster. Ricabene picks himself up to remonstrate. And South Melbourne players have managed to pull Bates away from that.
That was just stupid. No need for it. Damage has been done.
And unbelievably, after what we've seen here in the first half, a yellow card hasn't been shown for that, but
I would have given a yellow.
It's quite obvious that we can see the Ricabene was trying to shield it, but a not too subtle push could really do some damage. As we see behind the goals here at Lakeside Stadium, the advertising hoardings, which are made of tin, are quite close to the edge of the pitch. Sakia. Beckett at his back, and he's managed to get a foot onto the ball, but he's been judged to have pushed Sakia in the back.
Yeah, there was a shove there.
So now Reid will go back to the keeper, and Skipetis has clipped Reid on the way through. And it will be a yellow card this time to Peter Skipetis.
Some of the lights might have dimmed as well.
So it's been a game of real late challenges and some pretty poor challenges that have seen the yellow cards rack up in this game.
Very unnecessary from Peter Skipetis there. Waste of time.
So Skipetis is just a little clip on Reid on the way through.
And I did notice Peter Skipetis did one of those kinds of off-the-ball shoves as well against Dandenong City, and I thought, gee, that's not the kind of thing you want to see in the game. You don't want to see it in your own team especially. It doesn't achieve anything.
Just to confirm to people watching on at home, it is 3-0. Anyone who knows the graphics guy's number, just give him a ring and get that fixed for us, please. As the ball's forward. And just ill-directed, looking for Beckett from Norton. The Avengers with first half goals from Lee and Bolins. Matthew Reid on the stroke of half-time, and Yusuf Ahmed with an outstanding header to make it 3-0. So we wait for Avondale to have another throw.
The sting's really gone out of the game at the moment. There's nothing really happening. Being played at Avondale's pace.
Beckett trying to get it back. Sakia turned but didn't take the ball with him. The ball finds out for Marafiotti, coming across there and winning it. There's Yusuf Ahmed, who's really enjoying this attacking midfield position. Normally employed as a wide player, but
he's managed to find a little bit of room in the second half, rotting around, and Beckett not quite as effective as he was in the first half.
It's good for Yusuf Ahmed to find that other position to play in this Avondale side, because for the most part of the season he's behind Stefan Valentini and Stefan Zini in those wide positions, but if he can show he can play that attacking midfield role as he has today, gives him more opportunities to start and get more minutes in this Avondale side as Valentini drives it forward. And in the end it comes off Marshall and be out for a corner.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, most players have to have at least a secondary position they can play, otherwise you have to be damn good at the first position you play. Can't all be Liam Boland, can't all be Chris Oldfield.
We've seen that Joey Katabian is another one that hasn't been given the opportunities in this Avondale side this year because of the form of Liam Bolins, and and the form of the wingers, because Katabian can play out wide as well, but once again on the bench for Avondale.
They've managed to stockpile a lot of talent, and you sort of wonder if the players on the bench are getting frustrated or just happy to be part of a winning team.
Another cross in. Reganovic this time comes. Doesn't get it completely clear, but Beckett does. That's out for another throw. As we see that Zian says, I reckon a red is coming, but must admit the players, as soon as they get the yellow card, they've been the ones to settle down in this game. So yeah, it was close with Reganovic in his challenge. He gave away the penalty. He was already yellow carded before that, but in the end the referee decided not to give a second yellow. Salados, Schrone, Bates. Towns wins that challenge, and now Ahmed. Norton clips it to Schrone. First time ball. Bates, again the challenge comes in from Valentini. They give away the foul, but it slows the South Melbourne attack, and Towns is making a nuisance of himself, not allowing Beckett to take it as quickly as he would have liked.
I think Beckett wanted to go wide, and Towns is stopping them. I would have given that a yellow, actually. Again, unnecessary. Just play the game.
Skipedis. South have to go back. Norton rides the challenge. Up the line looking for Bates. This time versus Jakupi, and this time the youngster doesn't push. And the ball goes out for a goal kick. As you said, the sting has been taken out of the game. That third Avondale goal has definitely silenced the crowd here at Lakeside Stadium.
It would have been a long way back from 2-0. 3-0, I think, is a step too far. And I think the nature of the goal, too, just sort of really deflating.
Over the top. Ahmed managed to keep it in play, but nobody can run onto that.
And it's been a long week for South. It's 3 games, 8 days. There's only so much even the rotating the squad can do. Avondale a little bit fresher. And showing it too. Controlling tempo.
I'm going to try to change the scoreboard myself here. I'm going to tweet live graphic systems and let them know that the score's wrong and see if we can get it back. But for the moment, I'll stay with the play as the ball's now moved out wide. Around the corner looking for Sakia. And it's just wide. So here we go. I'm going to tweet live graphic systems. Score is 3-0 to Avondale. Please change. Yes, I do type that slow. So we've put the tweet through to live graphic systems and see if they can update it. We can do it all here on the stream here, Paul, and we can fix most things.
Can we get the scoreboard on picture-in-picture, maybe?
So half an hour to go. It is Avondale 3, South Melbourne 0 as Beckett through midfield. Once again, it's cut out.
Looks like Billy Constantinides is getting ready to be subbed on for South Melbourne.
Sakia finds Ahmed. Rides a few challenges, and Phil Riccobene and Riccobene boys in possession. Reed. Now to Bolins. He's been able to drag Marshall out of position, and ball played through that channel, but it's only Reganovic there to collect. Norton over the top. Holding on to it is Skipedis. Going to cut inside. South in the corner, looking for Beckett. Can he open the field up and find a teammate he has in Schrone? So again, it's just a little bit too tight for South. And then the pass goes back. Good 50-50 one there by Gibber and Beckett. Now Schrone looking to find a teammate. Reed. Now back to Bates. How's the delivery? Into a good area, but Avondale deal with it.
Good header away.
Now Sakia. Only got Bolins to the left, and now he slows it down. Yusuf Ahmed back to Sakia. Plays it through. Zini couldn't take it in his stride. Ahmed back.
That was beautiful to watch. I mean, South knew what was going to happen and almost powerless to stop it.
A very entertaining side to watch at Avondale, especially in full flight when they move the ball forward.
Haven't always been the case. I think under was Barberia, the previous coach, was a bit utilitarian, a lot of 1-0 results, and now really using the full talent of the squad at their disposal.
So it was. So he waits for Billy Constantinides. Did score midweek, and as you said, come up with looked like a shoulder and arm injury when he dove to get that goal, and in the end Constantinides has to wait.
Trying to see on the board who the sub is, who's being taken off.
I've got a tweet back from Live Graphic Systems. We don't control the score, the operator on site does, who is independent of us, who will check at our back end to ensure it's only showing 2-0 now, and then they'll try to be able to fix it as Valentini plays it out wide. Here's Zini. Clips it back in, looking for Valentini. So we were getting closer and closer to fixing the score. But now we can make that change.
So it looks like Pep Marifiotti coming off for Billy Constantinides.
So they do make that change.
So I think we'll see Skapetis move out wide and Billy Constantinides take up that central position.
That he does. Hoping to add to his 2 league goals this season.
I can't remember the second one. I think I can only remember 1 league goal. Gets Dandenong Thunder. I can't remember the second one.
Well, maybe I've added one of his cup goals in there as well, but
he's definitely scored 3 goals in the cup, but I think only the 1 in the league.
So it's been a bit of a lean spell in the league. He's held the ball up well for South Melbourne. He did come into the season very late and had to really work up a fitness base.
He does offer something quite important to South Melbourne. He offers a big body and also someone who knows how to run into the right positions.
Marshall's won the ball back. Beckett. Shrone. First time ball is cut out to the groans of the South Melbourne fans. And here's Boland trying to clip it into the back post. Norton time to chest and play it out wide to Salados. That was great composure. And now Jerry Salados again. Beckett, another loose pass. Valentini, he's got Boland out wide. Can he whip in across? Does near post, but Marshall clears it in out to the running track. As South now drive it forward. Salados. Skapetis. Now Beckett, and it's deflected, and Oldfield can't prevent the corner.
There were no runners there for South Melbourne. I mean, I know it's 3-0 down, I know it seems lost, but you still got to do the basics right. Provide the run, provide the option.
Well, 69 minutes played now. It is South Melbourne 0, Avondale 3, despite what the score in the corner says. Can South pull one back here? Over the top. Oldfield was able to bat it away. Salados has got time to get it back into the box. Oldfield once again comes out and collects.
It was too softly hit. Too much time for Oldfield to get across to that one.
Now Oldfield's long throw finds a teammate. Jakupi couldn't get on the end of it. It's going to fall into the path almost for Ahmed Yusuf, and it's back to Reganovic. Now Schrone turns, and Valentini done well of shutting down the South Melbourne attacks of Avondale. Now out wide. Trying to shield it out for a throw. And Sakia fights for it. Beckett. And in the end it does go out for a throw, and it's going to be Avondale's way. Looks like Joey Katabian is ready to come on. So Katabian gets the opportunity here in the last 20 minutes for Liam Bolins.
Think of the teams that would love to be able to bring on Joe Katabian, even as just as a luxury.
Well, both of them fitted into the Avondale team last year, with Boland playing up top and Katabian either playing that attacking midfielding role or out wide. Both of them had great goal-scoring seasons. Chance for Katabian to enter the fray. Gibber plays it out. And the ball goes for a South throw.
I mentioned before that South has lost the last 6 league games against Avondale, and one of the things Avondale's done in all those games pretty much is finish the game off early. Once they get ahead, they put their foot on the pedal, and that's it, it's done.
Now it's Beckett. Well, they runs into trouble. Yusuf Ahmed out wide. Zini glides into the box, cuts it back, couldn't get the right touch there. Valentini was the man trying to direct it goalward. Sakia back in, and in the end it will find its way to Reganovic.
I lost sight of the ball there, and I was hoping it wasn't going into the net, and, well, small mercies.
So Reganovic throws it back into Norton. Midfield, Salados loses out. Norton slides back in, and he won the ball. But Avondale get it back. Ball forward. Run that time by Towns. Out for an Avondale throw. Ball thrown in. Ricabene. Go out wide. Zini again. Goes towards the touchline. Now we can whip it in. Looking for Katabian. It's headed away. Here's a chance for Yusuf Ahmed in the box again. Bit of trickery. Can he find the right pass? He can't. Schrone. Again, a swift counter-attack is really cut out again by this tenacious Avondale side. Just really giving South Melbourne no time on the ball whatsoever in this game. It's been quite a clinical performance from them.
And all more or less from the 40th minute or so when they took the lead. Before that, it was a very even game of very few chances.
Kia goes back. Ricabene. Now Reid to bring it forward. It's got to be a time in this game South really have to press up on Avondale. They're sitting back and allowing them to have fairly easy possession in their defensive half. And eventually the switching ball goes out, so Norton to throw it back in.
Well, it looks like South have, not given up the ghost, but it doesn't look like it. I can't see the way they're going to get through. Avondale defence is playing so well, and South Melbourne kind of look lethargic now, like the scoreline in the long week has taken its toll.
Zini. Acceleration from Stefan Zini. Couldn't take it into his stride that time. In the end, loses out to young Alton. And now Salados. Got numbers in midfield, South. If they can find the right pass, great awareness by Schrone to get it wide. Okay, Bates is shut down and Beckett. In the end, South make the mistake.
At its core, South Melbourne is a counter-attacking team in 2019, and 3-0 down, they're not going to get too many chances of the counter-attack. They're going to find it very difficult to break down teams, especially a team that's defensively robust as Avondale.
Now it's Salados. Ran into trouble. Norton was able to get that touch forward. In the end, no foul's been given. I do feel South Melbourne, a couple of these little 50-50s haven't gone their way.
Yeah, but if you rely on 50-50s when you're down 3-0, you're not going to be much chop.
Well,
the
can't argue with that.
Yeah, the bread and butter was done by Avondale in a nice 15-minute patch.
Back to Chris Oldfield, who, as we said, hasn't really had much really to do in this game. Collect a few dangerous crosses, but
come off his line a few times, but that's about it. I don't think he's made a save per se.
So Jim Burkent's going to be coming on for Avondale, making way to his Hitte Towns. In fact, the board's... In fact, it's that was the South substitution first, so Kenan Gibson will be making on.
Former Avondale player, moved over in the transfer window. Perhaps looking for a chance to get on the field.
So Gibson comes on and Burkent will now come on for Sakia. So a little bit more defensive. Burkent will make that 2 holding midfielders.
Well, Avondale just want to play this game out now. They're 3-0 up. The game's as good as gone. No more yellow cards, no more injuries, no silly mistakes.
Substitution for Avondale coming on number 8.
Now it's Beckett. Schroen.
Replacing number 18, Tasuku Sakana.
Now Norton's given it up. Towns.
Looks like communication of South Melbourne has broken down entirely this second half. Stray passes, players expecting to be somewhere else. Not working for them. Whereas for the most part, Avondale have been looked so comfortable on the ball. Everyone's doing their bit.
Just feel that South Melbourne on the blind side trying to get the ball back is Salados. They can still drive it through. The shot from distance off the post from Valentini. And in the end, Gibber tries to get it clear. They'll get it back though. Cross comes in looking for Katabian, too much on it. But it was just a little bit too easy in midfield there where Stefan Valentini, who I think is a former South junior, tried to launch that one from outside the area. Reganovic well beaten.
Very fortunate there, South Melbourne. Should have been probably 4-0 down. It was a cracking shot. Too much space given to him.
Well, the shot on the turn. It's taken a deflection from Katabian as this time Reganovic clears the ball well away.
Well, he's upset, and he should be.
He's already on a yellow card though. But in the end, the referee had his back to that and didn't see Reganovic just launch the ball.
It's probably just about the only way this game can get any worse for South.
Frustrations from the South Melbourne keeper as Avondale look to have another corner. As we've stated a few times, it is actually 3-0 the score here. Not 2-0 as the graphic suggests. Zurikabene comes over to take it. Just clips the ball in. It almost evades everybody. In the end, it's Gibson to take it clear. Salados. The ball goes out for a throw. Beckett. Now Salados tries to turn away from trouble. He's done well. Hasn't really got much support, which has been the disappointing part about this South Melbourne performance as Schroen turns into trouble. The ball go back to Oldfield. Gibber heads it back. Salados flicks it on. Schroen in an offside position.
Too slow to get back.
He's tried to scoop the keeper there and managed to put the ball well wide, but Avondale won't mind that. Gives them a little bit more time for this kick.
I'm not even sure if Southern got a shot on target in this game. Maybe the graphics people can tell us.
So live graphic systems have tried to do the best on their part. It is the operator doing the stats at the stadium. Must have went for a coffee when that third goal went in. Shiba evades a couple of sliding challenges. Salados looking for Constantinides. Difficult one for him to control, and in the end, Reid calmly gets it back to the goalkeeper.
If the on-site person is trying to get a coffee at South Melbourne, could be gone for a couple of weeks. It's a bit slow these days.
Valentini came close to scoring Avondale's fourth not too long ago.
Almost snapped the post in half.
Now Reid, we see with South Melbourne really, to suggest the last 10 minutes, they've really got to press on. At the moment it's just limping out this game.
And Avondale will be happy with this. I mean, they've got the win. And not going to exert themselves too much. I mean, they're still the more likely to score.
Some neat passing again. In the end, Beckett's the one to come back and win it. Schrone. Now just a sloppy pass in midfield. Avondale get it back through Riccobene.
And you can't even pick out a single South player that's actually deteriorated over the course of the last 40 minutes or so, because they've pretty much all lowered their colours.
It's Reid and Towns go back to Oldfield. Now Beckett's taken it on himself to press up. And South looking to get it back through Bates. Towns turns out of trouble. Gives it up. This is much better from South Melbourne. Constantinides. All it bounced just in front of Oldfield. And in the end, Oldfield made the save.
And the big Bronx cheers from the South fans because they finally seen a shot on target.
It was much better. Beckett took it on himself. He said, we're not going to allow them just to pass it around the back. We're going to win this ball back. And as soon as they do, they were able to get this ball headed away. Valentini.
I think the other thing as well is South has, every now and again bombed these balls long. And whether they have a tall player or a short player, our team is defensively sound as ever. I was just going to clean that up every day of the week.
As Katavian tries to find Ahmed again. Now Alton. Reganovic will have to clear. It's over Beckett's head. Cushioning header finds Valentini. Turns into trouble though. Gibson to Bates. As Avondale's defence drops, Bates is able to drive it forward. Looking to go himself. He gets through to Bates. Cuts it back. Oldfield out of the equation, but Avondale half get it clear. Norton. And on the turn, Constantinides. Riccobene in the way. And Yusuf Ahmed involved in a crushing challenge there in midfield, and in the end it shielded out for a goal kick. But much better by South Melbourne though.
Took a long time from after conceding that first goal to get up and actually test Oldfield, to actually test the Avondale defence meaningfully. And to be fair, they acquitted themselves well. They got the numbers back. They blocked the ball.
I believe South Melbourne this season have played their best football when they've really pressed up on sides and won the ball back high up the pitch. And we saw that in the Heidelberg game as well too, where 3 goals were from basically 3 turnovers in midfield, and South Melbourne made the most of it. But we haven't seen enough of it today.
And I don't think Avondale have given them those chances for the most part. I mean, there's been turnovers that have gone out of play up the field or in positions where they haven't been able to make too much to worry about there, but
well,
one of those days.
Well, Yusuf Ahmed has gone off in a couple of games. This year he's going to make his way to the sidelines, and Yite Towns is getting a bit of work on his cramp.
I don't think there's any subs left for Avondale as well. I think that's all 3 subs they've made. It was a fair challenge. It looks like he's up, and so they'll keep going.
We're ready to go again as we are approaching the final 5 minutes here at Lakeside Stadium, plus stoppages. It's going to be Avondale to extend their lead at the top of NPL Victoria.
It's not a game I would have been expecting South to win, but they would have loved a draw in this one just to keep distancing themselves in the finals nice and tight. Avondale now 5 points clear.
South will still find themselves 3 points out of the top 6 with a pretty poor goal difference as well, so they're going to have to need that extra point.
Avondale will be looking for more points next week against Pascoe. I mean, Pascoe, almost like a death spiral in conceding goals. And then after that, I think they've got Green Gullies, which will be a terrific game, I think.
It's Bates, we've seen what he can do, running at defences and gets a corner.
Whereas South Melbourne have, I believe, Kingston at home next week and Pascoe the week after. So 2 very winnable games there. They'd love to get 6 points, if not 4 at least, from those 2 matches. Just to keep track, beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
The near post delivery from Bates was cleared out and he'll get another opportunity. All right, well, South Melbourne did lose to Kingston early in the season, but since then things have really gone pear-shaped for Nick Tolios' side. It's again, the ball comes in, near post, flicked on, back post, back in, and somehow it doesn't go in. It was Gibson at the back post getting it back across the goal. Now they can have another chance at this corner, Salados. Near post, Avondale with 2 players there and they get it clear. How did that not go in, Paul?
Well, Avondale defended it beautifully. I know it's a rhetorical question, but you get your numbers in the right place, get your play, put your body on the line.
As Norton's ball now goes out. So at this stage of the season, with 9 games to go, Avondale with a 5-point gap at the top. It's really been driven that even though they've had a little bump a few weeks ago, dropping a few points, but not too many.
Well, in the last 5 games before this one in the league, Avondale had won 1 game, 3 draws and a loss, which was their only loss of the season. So that's 6 points out of 15, whereas South was actually the form team, which is probably surprised a lot of South fans who are perennially miserable. That was 12 out of 15, the most out of any team in that kind of period of time.
Now it's Bates. Another chance to run at Jacoupy and go past him. With the left foot, trying to get it into the box. Avondale get numbers back, and Valentini, well, you know he's an attacking dribbler and he gets out of danger in his defensive box.
He's looked so calm in the midfield today, just controlling it. And any time he's got a bit of space to run forward, he's looked very dangerous.
Avondale can't hold on to it. Salados, who this time the foul's given away. I've noticed, especially in that cup game against Knights, and today Salados hasn't been able to get the ball in real attacking positions. He's had to drop so deep into midfield to try to bring the ball up. As Bates, another chance to attack the defence, looking for Constantinides.
Salados needs a bit of space in front of him. He needs to be running onto balls, not collecting the ball deep in midfield.
So you get him in that attacking midfield position where he can look forward and slip players in. As Valentini drives it again, here's Zini across the keeper, Raganovic with a smart save.
Well, Zini has scored against South in 3 consecutive games, and he was almost 4 there.
Well, that's the only thing that Avondale are looking for, is Zini on the score sheet against South again, and he's got a bit of a problem with cramp for the moment as well. As you can see, Avondale aren't going to commit too many bodies forward for this corner. So in the end, we wait for somebody to come across and take that corner. In the end, Katavian will do the slow jog to the corner. Only 2 Avondale players in this box.
4 minutes of injury time.
Valentini, that one's very easy for Aganovic. So, as Paul's just said, 4 minutes to go. Can South Melbourne at least get a constellation goal? Beckett's turn in midfield and South will have a throw.
Well, Beckett got the ball then. He's looking out for someone to be forward and to pass, and there was nobody.
Avondale get it back.
Just hope this doesn't cross over into the next couple of weeks for South Melbourne, because this is a pretty deflating loss the way they've ended it.
To the joy of that derby win against Port Melbourne. 2 games within 5 days has seen South Melbourne miss out on the national stages of the FFA Cup to their bitter rival, and must admit been pretty comprehensively outplayed, especially after Avondale took the lead in this game.
And that's what will hurt them most, because they were well in the game before that. Real arm wrestle, bring out all the commentator cliches. And after that, it's just been all Avondale, except for a 5-minute patch very late on.
This ball's cleared. Chipper, midfield. Riccobene heads the ball out wide. Marshall, in the end, has to concede the throw.
And you wonder maybe what next week, what kind of changes South might make. I mean, will they make it a change to goalkeeper even? Will Gibson get a start in place of somebody else?
Ball forward. Towns, he's offside. He has been fouled, but the flag is up. So the referee reverses that decision. And South look to move it. It's going deep in his defensive half. It's Salados. And decides to take on the Avondale defence himself. It's a strong run from him. Schrone, Constantinides and Bates are there, and it's headed away by Jacoupy. And the ball's found its way forward. Again, Valentini with a chance to run at the defence. And a big 50-50 slide between Valentini and Marshall. Sees both players in quite a bit of pain. So, I believe the ref has given a foul here. And medical treatment's going to be needed here. So injury time's going to be used for injuries.
And that'll probably be it. I mean, they might just take this free kick, and by the time this is cleaned up, it'll be over.
So both sets of sides, once again in close proximity. We did see a few little scuffles and some naughty challenges, particularly in the first half. But I must admit, once Avondale got that third goal, the game's really just played itself out.
Yeah, not too much going on, and since then, a couple of chances to Avondale. I think if they really wanted to, they could have really hammered it home. A 5-minute burst for South Melbourne where perhaps they probably should have had one goal. But from the 40-minute mark, it's all been all Avondale's game, and proven again why they're top of the table and why South Melbourne is mid-table at best at the moment.
It also gives us the opportunity just to plug a few of the rest of the FFA Cup qualifiers that will be played on Wednesday night as Bulleen host St Albans for a spot in the national round of 32 of the FFA Cup. So there will be at least one NPL 2 side make it. And Altona Magic, after their comeback win yesterday, will be hosting Moreland Zebras, which I think is going to be quite an entertaining clash, that one.
I've stopped caring about the FFA Cup. It's over.
So Paul's gone real negative now that South are out. But it is a great opportunity, especially you look at Altona, who's come from the state leagues, with the system being now opened up for being able to go from state league to NPL. Altona's made a few promotions in a row to play in the top league, and now a chance to play in the national rounds as the referee now blows full time here at Lakeside Stadium. It is South Melbourne 0. It is Avondale 3. Avondale with 3 goals from Liam Boland, Matthew Reid and Yusuf Ahmed with the goal scorers in this game. South Melbourne really didn't threaten the goal of Chris Oldfield till late in this game, but it is Avondale, the league leaders, who extend their lead to the top to 5 points.
A very even game for 40 minutes, and then Avondale won the penalty, converted it, and that was pretty much it from there. South will be very disappointed in his performance. Avondale will be ecstatic. I think the only problems for Avondale are maybe a couple of injuries, and some of the yellow cards I picked up probably a bit unnecessary, but they'll be happy with getting a 3-0 win, get bit of a run in the legs of some of their bench players, and for South, just got to reload because the next 2 weeks are really important. They've got 2 teams struggling against relegation, and they'll be looking to get 6 points out of those 2 games.
Well, thank you for everybody for joining us for this game here at Lakeside Stadium. So Avondale keep their really strong record against South Melbourne intact, and they come here with another victory. My name is Chris Gleeson. Thank you very much, Paul Mavroudis, for joining me in the Kohler gang today, mate.
No problem.
So, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday night as we sign off now.